Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Comics Examination. I'm your host, Sean. Episode today is going to focus on a lot of the announcements that came out of New York Comic Con this year. Obviously, we're a little late on that. I figured better late than never, and there's still a lot of stuff trickling in, so we'll talk about that. Do some really quick reviews of some recent issues that I really think everybody should check out. Spend a little bit of time talking about Batman issue 24 and all that Zero Year has to offer, and let's get to it. New York Comic Con has kind of grown in size a lot in the last couple of years. Become a big podium for Marvel and DC to make huge announcements on their plans for the next year and then things to come. We'll breeze through DC real quick. They had really one major title, one really, to me, impressive creative change they announced, and a couple of little hints and things that were dropped. The biggest thing is that they announced was a new weekly ongoing series called Batman Eternal. And if there's going to be a weekly series that I'm going to pick up, it needs to be Batman Central. And this will focus on Gotham City and all its inhabitants and things like that, and how they directly tie in. The series will directly tie into current ongoing Batman. The book will be written. The first couple issues will be written by Scott Snyder himself, and then he will co-plot the rest of the series. Of course, it'll change out creative teams, much like some of the Savage Wolverine and Avenging Spider-Man, Superior Spider-Man team up. Some of the Marvel books and in the past that the DC books have done. So it'll be a really interesting opportunity to get a lot of different people's take on Gotham City and its dark night and things like that. So really excited to see where they go with that. They did hint that Stephanie Brown will make her new 52 appearance soon. I'd say spoiler alert, but since she'll probably be in her spoiler character, that would have seemed really stupid. So I just won't do it. Wally West will make a return. ... Eventually. Thanks for the heads up. I don't know why you would say leave it so open-ended like that, because essentially you could say that about everybody. So wasn't really thrilled about that because it really didn't give me a lot. And then Scott Lobdell confirmed that Superboy Con-El will die and Krypton returns. Superboy's not really that great. The current Superboy is not really that great of a character. He's not as I don't connect with him like I have in the past with Connor Kent and stuff like that from the pre-New 52 Teen Titans. But we'll see. Maybe it's just a marketing ploy to sell more books. So one of the things I'm really excited about, in addition to Batman Eternal, is they announced that Francis Monopole and Brian Bussoletto will take over Detective Comics. Now, if you're not familiar with this creative team, you need to pick up New 52 Flash because they are the current team on that book. Now, I know you're going to look at some of the art for Flash, and you're going to think, what? Because it's a lot of motion, very bright, a lot of reds and oranges and yellows and things like that. But the two have confirmed that it will not be that type of book. That yes, their artwork will be the same, but it will rightly reflect the tone and feel of Gotham City. And that Brian Bussoletto said that it would take on more of the detective aspects of Batman's investigations, whereas in the past we've got a lot of Batman books, but it's pretty much just Batman beating up villains. There's not a lot of procedural storytelling, and so I really would like to see a return to that. Maybe not with a magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes style or anything, but I'd like to see him do a lot of investigating and things like that. So really excited about that. And if you don't believe that these two can pull off Detective Comics, do me a favor and Google Francis Monopole Batman. Scratch that. Let me show you what Francis Monopole can do with Batman. This is exactly what we have to look forward to. This artwork is stunning. One more time. Just when it comes out and it's awesome and everybody loves it, just remember I said it here first, that it's going to be phenomenal and you have nothing to worry about. Don't let the Flash artwork fool you. The guy knows how to draw. Francis Monopole is very talented, and I'm very excited to see him do something outside of, he did Adventure Comics with Superboy, and he's done a lot of other stuff. I'm very excited to see him get his hands on a Bat title, especially Detective Comics. It's just going to be amazing. That's it for DC. Nothing really else major. A couple little, they had the Bat panel and they talked about a lot of different stuff, but no real major announcements. The big announcements came out of Marvel. Marvel announced 12 new ongoing titles. So let's get the garbage out of the way first, shall we? Loki, Agent of Asgard. Are you serious? Loki, Agent of Asgard? As if we need to try to tie into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Thor or anything else. Stop doing it. Marvel's biggest fails are when they try to tie books into movies and things like that. Just make books based on your characters. That's all we want to see. Loki, Agent of Asgard, I guess the biggest disappointment is that it's grown up Loki again. I really enjoy reading Kid Loki. Journey into Mystery, that was the best part of Fear itself, was the Journey into Mystery tie-ins with Kid Loki running around trying to be good but not really being successful at it. I've really enjoyed Young Avengers with Loki trying, and I mean it's good storytelling. He's just a really likable character. Karen Gillian does an awesome job, and I don't want to see grown up Loki. I've seen it. It's not that great. So not excited about that. All new Ghost Rider? What? All new Ghost Rider? We don't need a new Ghost Rider. You're putting Ghost Rider and Thunderbolt starting with issue 20. Ghost Rider does not need their own title. Oh, but it's a new Ghost Rider. That's even a bigger reason why Ghost Rider doesn't need its own title. Oh, but he's not on a motorcycle. Why are we making this book? What is Marvel thinking? Ghost Rider is on a motorcycle. Everybody knows that. It's iconic. It's what you think when you think Ghost Rider. So, Marvel, not going to cut it. So, all new Ghost Rider, really not excited about that. Avengers Undercover. Avengers Undercover is going to be the same creative team as Avengers Arena. And since that book is ending with issue 18, they've basically said that it's going to be the same characters, well, some of the same characters, and they're going to go undercover for Masters of Evil, working for Baron Zemo. That sounds like a much better concept than Avengers Avengers Arena. So hopefully it'll be a better storytelling. But now books that I'm so on. Elektra is going to get her own series. That's going to be something to look forward to. I think we need more. Marvel needs more female characters. They just announced that they're going to can Fearless Defenders, so I hate to see that one go because it's amazing. So hopefully we'll get some more female-centered books where we get some really good storytelling. And let's cut it. Let's just be honest. Thunderbolts ain't cutting it right now. That's a great potential team that's just not delivering on what it could be. So maybe Elektra will bring some of the, be a better bet than Thunderbolts. Black Widow's getting her own series. I'm really excited about that because one of my favorite artists, Phil Noto, is going to be on there, and I just really like his art style, and hopefully I would like to see more of her origin and backstory and kind of her relationship with Bucky right now, which is, obviously non-existent because she's had her memory erased. So I'd like to see some of that, coming back, struggling to find out, reconnect with people, things like that. It could be good. New Warriors is going to be awesome. Okay. I'm really excited. We haven't seen this team together since Civil War, since the fallout from the whole Nitro incident. So I really, Justice has been in the Avengers Initiative books and things like that. But he made an appearance recently with Speedball. Robbie Baldwin in his original costume in Nova. So I'm really excited to see them back together. Now they will be joined by Nova in this team, in this book, and Scarlet Spider will be in the book. I guess since they canned his book, he's got to go somewhere, and it's not really a Marvel team if Spider-Man's not on it. It's in some form, so I guess they'll take a clone for New Warriors. But it could be good. I'm really excited, more so than all new Ghost Rider. Punisher is coming back. Now, I was a huge fan of Greg Rucka's run. Really liked the art style and the storytelling in that book. So very excited to see Punisher coming back, but mainly because the team that's going to be spearheading this book is the team from the Image comic book, The Activity. Now, if you don't know about it, The Activity is based around a special ops team and all the things that they go through, their tactics, their gadgetry, the missions, things like that. And it's drawn some attention from the Pentagon and things like that, because Nathan Edmondson has sources that some are retired and active duty military that he uses to get material for his book. His storytelling for that style book is very accurate. That will apply incredibly well to a Punisher telling. Punisher will be based in Los Angeles, and it'll deal with his exploits there. So look forward to a lot of cool gadgetry. The artwork, the artist on that book is amazing. So I'm really excited to see them, do their thing for Marvel. Avengers World. Avengers World is one I'm really kind of excited about, because they're realizing after Infinity that not only do they have to go bigger as far as team size, but they got to go bigger as far as scope and what they're doing. So it'll be co-written by Nick Spencer, who's doing Secret Avengers, which I'm friggin' loving right now. So I'm really excited about it. Jonathan Hickman's going to play a role in it, and he's killing it on Avengers right now. So I'm really excited to see where they go with this and what they do. The title I am the most excited about out of NYCC is All New X Factor. And I know last episode we just talked about X Factor being canceled and how we knew it was going to come back. It's being written by Peter David. He had me fooled. I thought the guy was retiring. I thought he was stepping down, walking away from just a great book he had. But he was only setting up for All New X Factor. Now, in End of X Factor, the last story arc, Polaris is approached by an unknown individual and offered a job. And what we're realizing now is that she is offered a job to start X Factor investigations, sponsored by a company called Serval Industries. Now, Peter David is taking a lot of cues from society right now, which he has done from in the past, but he's really interested in corporate sponsored organizations. And so he has created Serval Industries, which he equates to the Marvel Universe version of Google. Now, if you think about how much influence Google has on, the global economy, think of what they could do in that type of company could do in Marvel Universe. So it's Serval Industries is sponsoring an X Factor team, which will be led by Polaris, and they've only announced 3 characters in the team right now. Polaris, her half-brother Quicksilver. Gambit is going to be in a new X Factor. Like, why would I not want to read this book? Now, Gambit has not had luck in books recently. His ongoing got canceled. Astonishing X-Men got canceled. He doesn't have a lot of face time in a lot of the other X books. So hopefully this will turn things around. I would love to see him in that kind of that investigation style, mutants helping other people book. So that's the upcoming books and announcements that I'm excited about, and you should be too. If anything, everybody knows they need to get All New X Factor now and Batman Eternal. So, and sign up for Detective Comics, especially starting with 27. I'm telling y'all are going to be blown away by Francis Monopole on a Batman title. Well, that's it. Let's get into reviews. And all right, so we'll start with Marvel. Obviously, we'll talk about Infinity. Infinity is just awesome. Thanos' son has been revealed finally. We got to see his inhuman power exposed, and it was epic. Maximus the Mad, Black Bolt's brother, dropped the Terrigen Mist bomb on the world, and so this group of Inhumans that's been intermingling with regular Homo sapiens has you've got dormant Inhumans walking around the Earth that don't know that they're Inhumans, and so when this Terrigen Mist bomb explodes, they're gaining abilities in the middle of the street, in the middle of their daily lives. They're not even knowing what's happening, and it's got me even more excited for Inhumanity. I think Matt Fraction's going to do awesome with that. So definitely make sure you pick up Infinity. It's on issue number 4. We've only got 2 left. Definitely don't want to miss it. If you wait till it's in a trade, I'm going to spoil it for you. All right. I get way too excited about books to hold this stuff in and hope everybody's read it. So if I spoil stuff, I'm sorry. But Infinity number 4, definite must read from Marvel. In the same vein of Marvel, let's talk about Battle of the Atom. Wow. Where was this series when when Avengers versus X-Men was going on? This is what Avengers versus X-Men should have been. It's fantastic. The storytelling's great. You have, obviously, an all-new X-Men. You had the original 5 X-Men came to the present. They were brought to the present so that hopefully they could change and save to keep things from happening the way they were. Well, in Battle of the Atom, a team of future X-Men shows up in the present and says, hey, the original's got to go back. And not everybody's okay with that. Some people are on board. There's some division in the entire X community as far as what should happen and things like that. And it's awesome. There's been some twists and turns, one of which was this guy here. Obviously he's blue with claws. I'll let you your mind put the 2 and 2 together as far as where he is and what his powers are, but it's amazing. Definitely want to pick it up. Don't want to be left in dirt. You wait for a trade, again, I'm gonna fan out and spoil it for you. So definitely start. I can't tell you enough. If you're reading 3 things in Marvel right now, it needs to be Infinity, Battle of the Atom, and a book I almost dropped, Hawkeye. Now, a couple of things about Hawkeye. It's written by Matt Fraction, which is one of my favorite writers. This guy just knows how to get a story across. He knows how to connect with an audience. He knows how to make you feel for characters, and he's just an all-around nice guy. He will chat with anybody on Twitter that texts him, that tweets him just about, and his blog is phenomenal, and I can't say enough about him. One of my favorite people in the comic book industry right now is Matt Fraction, and this book is just the tip of the iceberg as far as why. In the first 12 issues, we get a glimpse in the life of Clint Barton, which is not as glamorous as you would think for an Avenger, which I love that. And you get to see him make connections with neighbors and things like that. And then he obviously, there's some tension going on in the neighborhood he lives in. And his actions lead to one of his neighbors, Grills, being killed in issue 11 or 12. Issue 13, we deal with Hawkeye learns about Grills' death and has to deal with telling his Grills' father and things like that, and just the way that he handles grief, the way the artwork and things like that, and the raw human emotion in this book is fantastic. I mean, it's such a great departure from your normal, cape and cowl superheroing. I like to see that there are real people underneath the mask that have to deal with real problems in addition to going out and saving the world. So definitely want to pick up Hawkeye. If you have Spotify on your computer, look up the username Grey Rabbit, Grey Rabbit, one word. That is the username for the artist David Ajay, and what he does is he makes soundtracks for each issue, thanks to a buddy of mine, Levi, who introduced me to that, and it makes reading these books that much better, because there's two times in this book where a phone rings, and he has sound effects spaced out so where when the phone rings, there's a phone ringing on your computer, and then the guy flushes the toilet and you hear the toilet flush. That sounds really cheesy, but it just makes the experience of reading that book that much better. So definitely check out Hawkeye, and check out Spotify Gray Rabbit, username Gray Rabbit, and follow his soundtracks he makes for each book. So we'll get into DC. Obviously, Batman, Superman. So we talked about Batman, Superman already in the past. This was the conclusion to the first arc. Definitely worth picking up. The art was fantastic. The interaction between the young Batman, Superman and the old Batman, Superman, as well as the difference between their relationships respectively. Earth 1, Batman, Superman, which is the younger of the two groups, they have never met, or have only met in passing, and they're not big fans of each other. They don't know their secret identities. They don't trust each other. They don't complement each other very well. They each want to do their own thing. They each have their own different way of looking at it. And then you have the Earth 2 Batman and Superman, which Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne met as children, and they grew up together. And they're the exact opposite of them in the fact that they're connected on such a deep level that they don't even have to think. They know what the other person's going to do. And it was just interesting to see that dynamic. They face off against each other. And the way it ended was very, very good. It left it open for a lot of good storytelling in the future. So I'm really excited to see what Greg Pak and Jay Lee have planned. Hopefully they'll keep going. I don't want to see the artwork change. A lot of people don't like it, and that's fine. They don't have to like it. They just have to buy it and read it, because I want this book to keep going, and I want it to be the same way it is. So we'll take a departure real quick and talk about a new book that came out. It was awesome. Superman, Wonder Woman. Okay, now Superman, Wonder Woman, not really big fans of either one of them. If you've been following New 52, Superman, Wonder Woman, they are in a relationship and they're trying to keep it secret. At least Clark wants to keep it secret. Wonder Woman, not so much. She doesn't feel they need to hide their relationship. So that's kind of the reason I picked it up. Obviously, if you look at the cover art, you can see why I wanted to pick this book up. Tony Daniel is obviously he's famous from his work on Batman pre-New 52 and then the beginning arc of Detective. And then he took over Action Comics for a couple of issues. But Tony Daniel is the man. He knows what to do. He knows how to draw, and it's just amazing. The writer Charles Scholl is relatively new to the industry, but he's made a lot of waves and he's been quite successful. So they do a really good job of tackling the dynamic between Clark and Diana. Clark is adamant that they need to keep their relationship secret. Clark feels that they give enough of their lives to the general public that he wants this one thing to keep to himself, and I like that thought. And then obviously Wonder Woman doesn't. She doesn't feel they need to hide. That there's nothing secret. That there needs to be nothing secret about it. In the issue, they go off on a little adventure and do some rescuing, and Diana has. They do flashbacks where Diana's telling Clark, "You don't know how to fight, so I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna teach that. I'm gonna teach you that." And that's an awesome concept for Superman to be trained by Wonder Woman, who's obviously been. And she mentions, "I've trained with the God of War himself, so I'm the person for the job." The end has a pretty awesome reveal that I don't want to spoil for you, but a character shows up that just is like. I'm really excited to see the next issue, and I can't wait. I think it's a really good read for a lot of different audiences. If you want more of the romance, it's there, but it's also got that emotion and action that every book needs. So Superman, Wonder Woman, definitely check it out. You won't be disappointed. Batman and Robin, whatever you want to call it. This title, it originally launched in New 52 as Batman and Robin, and it centered around Batman and at the time his son Damian Wayne as Robin, and it was amazing. Peter J. Tomasi, the writer, and Patrick Gleason, the artist, are as good a team as Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. They click. They're the storytelling and the art. They just form that perfect union that just delivers phenomenal story issue after issue. And I can't think of one issue that I've read that I did not enjoy. But obviously, when Robin died in Batman Incorporated #8, and for those of y'all who are outraged that I just spoiled that for you, we're seriously like 8 months behind on that. So, in issue number 19, it became Batman and each issue has featured a different person. Not my theory. A customer at the shop, David, had the theory that each issue was a different stage of grief, and it makes total sense. And I think some of the issues are even titled like Compromise or something like that. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but it makes so much sense because each time Batman's compared with a different person, the relationship is a little bit different. Therefore, the emotion and the stage of grief is a little bit different. This one was an interesting pick because it's Batman and Two-Face, and you can see Two-Face is written right over the Robin there. So it's the first time a villain, other than really they had Batman and Catwoman, but I don't consider her a villain. This issue was interesting because you got to see Bruce Wayne, Batman, dealing with the death of his son, Robin, Damian Wayne, compared to Two-Face, Harvey Dent, dealing with the death of his wife Gilda and obviously being disfigured, and how each of them dealt with it differently. It was just really interesting. The art was phenomenal. This cover doesn't do it justice, but Patrick Gleason is just amazing. This series has been one of the consistently excellent series in the New 52 universe. Batman obviously is my number one choice for New 52. This is number 2, not just because it's Batman, but because it's the art, the story, everything's fantastic, and everybody needs to read it, especially Batman fans. So Batman and Two-Face, issue number 24, definitely a must read. Now, as far as the big 2 goes, we'll get into Batman 24 because I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about that. But we had some new stuff come out with these independent books, and Rat Queens is one of them. And it's by Curtis Weeb of Peter Panzerfaust fame. He's the writer for that book. And Rock Upchurch, who's, to me, a relatively new artist. And they delivered this book, Rat Queens. Now, the best part about Rat Queens is it's just a fun read. No experience necessary. You dive right in. There's already action. The artwork's fantastic. And the team focuses around a female group of questers. It's a very dungeon crawl-ish book. And you have Hannah, who's the team leader. Dee, who's kind of the know-it-all, hey, we need to stop and think this through. Violet, who is the clearly crazed redhead who's just all about violence and fighting. And then my personal favorite, Betty, who's the drunken, sleeps with anything that moves character. And it basically, they are given a quest to go investigate a troll of some sort, and then hilarity ensues. So definitely want to pick up Rat Queens. It's a very good departure from Cape and Cow. It's kind of a fantasy World of Warcraft-ish book. So definitely check out Rat Queens from Image Comics. You won't be disappointed. Another new number 1 we had was from DC offshoot Vertigo. So Coffin Hill focuses around Eve Coffin, who is the main character, and at the beginning she's obviously a police officer, and she has done some pretty fantastic stuff, and kind of as a rookie has stumbled across a bust that has pretty much made her career. But it flashes back to her adolescence when she was a rebellious young teenager. Her family lives on Coffin Hill, which is it's a very huge mansion, and they are very among a group of individuals that are very wealthy and a lot of secrets and stuff like that. Well, she begins to delve into the occult, witchcraft, and things like that, just as a way of kind of being a defiant youngster, and unknowingly taps into a family history of the occult, and shit gets real. And it's just a lot of stuff happens in the first issue. The artwork is amazing. The storytelling was great. Gotta say, check out Coffin Hill. You won't be disappointed. Again, another. I love my Cape and Cowl superheroes. I love my X-Men, Batman, all that good stuff. But I gotta have this stuff peppered in here to kind of break away and have a relief. And this is definitely one I'm going to be looking forward to in the future. One that's already been really good and got even better. Image's Lazarus. Wow, I can't even say enough about this. The Carlisle family has a protector, which is Forever here, or Ever as they call her, and it's just awesome. Just everybody needs to read it. It's very kind of futuristic. What if? I just love it. The art's great. The storytelling is, Greg Rucka is at his best. He's not being constrained by editors or told which direction to go. He's just getting to do his own thing, and this is the result, and it's awesome. Lazarus from Image Comics. It's on issue number 4 now. Definitely check it out. You won't be sorry. Now, I really kind of eat my words here for a minute, because I talked a lot of mess about books in the past, one of which being Jupiter's Legacy. Now, I was going to drop Jupiter's Legacy. I said I would read issue 3 and make my decision, and boy, have I made my decision. Issue number 3 was fantastic. The story went in a direction I thought it would, but it was so much better than I expected it to be. Wow. Just Mark Millar and Frank Quitely, I owe them an apology, and I will make up for it by telling you how awesome this book is. If you read issue 3, I guarantee you'll want to go back and read 1 and 2 just so you can be caught up, but you'll definitely pick up 4 and on, because it's going to be, stuff is going to happen in this book that's just going to be amazing. It's just a great book. This was top notch. Some of my favorite scenes from this week, from this past couple of weeks, have been from this book, and one of which is when Jupiter and the Utopian have. So obviously, you see from the front the Utopian, which is the father of Brandon here. Brandon kind of steps up and says, "Hey, Dad, you don't run this anymore. I do." Clearly, and it's just, it's epic. It's epic how it goes down. So Brandon's mother and father kind of get dealt with, and you do not want to miss it. It is very, very good. So Jupiter's Legacy, number 3, sealed the deal for me. Definitely going to pick it up going forward. But you need to get it. So my number 1 book of the week is not really a surprise. It was to me. 0 Year for Batman. First couple issues have been good, but they haven't really made me pay attention or anything. It's just like, okay, he's not Batman yet, but Batman number 24 made sense of everything that's come before it. The first couple of issues of 0 Year, I get now, and I'm probably going to go back and reread them because I have a better understanding of what they were trying to say. Obviously, from the front of this, a lot of people can tell that this is the first issue in the retelling of his origin, that Bruce Wayne puts on the costume and becomes Batman, but it's so much more than that. It's there's a very pivotal moment in the Batman history. I gotta spoil it for you because Red Hood 1, which is Red Hood Gang, has been the focus of 0 Year right now, and they obviously have a leader. All of them, they're basically blackmailed into joining this gang by Red Hood 1. Nobody knows who Red Hood 1 is. He doesn't want anybody to know. and he kind of goes up against Batman and falls into a vat of acid at Ace Chemicals. Now, it's been hinted in several different ways that is how Joker got created. Unofficially, I guess that's the Joker's origin story. It happens in this book, and Greg Capullo does not disappoint. It was a moment that just left me breathless, and I couldn't ask for more. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo do the first part of this book, and it's a $7 issue, but I mean, you get 43 pages in the first part of it, and then pages 44 through 54 is a backup story done by Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV are doing the writing on that, and then Raphael Albuquerque, who is Scott Snyder's partner in American Vampire and has done some backups in Batman before. They do the backup story in which they talk about the police have identified Red Hood 1. Now, at that moment, I set the book down and was very mad for one reason. The best part of Joker is that you don't know who he is, that it doesn't matter who he is, that he is not the Joker. He is the Joker because Batman is Batman. It doesn't matter who he was before or anything like that. At this point, he is Joker. So when they say that they've identified Red Hood 1 and they give a name, a part of me died a little bit. Essentially, what has happened is that they say that Red Hood 1, the original Red Hood 1, his body was discovered in a barrel where he had been soaked in lye. And basically, this means they don't know how long he's been dead. So at some point, between the creation of the Red Hood gang and Red Hood 1 falling into a vat of acid, Red Hood 1 was replaced by an unknown entity. I was relieved because it had my blood pumping enough to where I didn't want to keep reading, but I did just to finish it, and it was amazing. Because now you kind of want to go back and read those first couple issues to see if there was a change in the tone of Red Hood 1. Like if I can tell when the original Red Hood 1, which the name's not important for him either, but when he's killed and replaced. But at the end of the backup story, the Riddler makes his appearance, and it's just going to be epic. This origin story is going to be very long and very drawn out, and I couldn't be happier with that. I want to get a better feel for this New 52 and Scott Snyder's version of Batman, and what he thinks is going on up here, and it's just epic, and everybody needs to read it. So Batman Zero Year is definitely going to be worth checking out, but issue 24 is a pivotal moment in Batman history, and everybody needs to read it. So make sure you check it out. That's all we got for this week. Obviously, we need you to rate, comment, and subscribe. Tell all your friends. I'm not going to go so far as to say, like, kidnap people and make them watch it, but, you know, that's up to y'all. Make sure you comment and let us know. Check out our Facebook page. We need some discussion going. We need people to tell us what they want to hear about. I know my opinion is golden and people follow it like gospel, but every once in a while I wouldn't mind hearing what somebody else wants to say. So let us know what you think. Keep up the comments, and appreciate y'all for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Comics Examination.